When we think of innovators, we often picture the big names. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, the kind of people who changed entire industries. But innovation isn't just about grand gestures or million-dollar inventions. It's about being known as someone who sees things differently, who tries new approaches, and who is willing to lead with fresh ideas. And the truth is, you don't have to be the loudest or the flashiest person within your industry to be seen as an innovator. You just have to consistently show up with ideas that move things forward.
Welcome to the Talk Podcast with ideas strategist Linda Reed-Enever. Talk is where we chat about ideas and inspiration you can use to market your business. Get ready for practical tips you can implement today with your host, Linda Reed-Enever.
I quite often say to my clients and to my members that we just need to do the next step. Okay, we need to keep the momentum going. I learned this early on in my career when I started working in marketing and then eventually transitioning to business strategy. Everyone was talking about funnels and lead magnets and growth hacks, and it sounds so mechanical, and it still does today. And honestly, it didn't reflect how real relationships, as far as I was concerned, in the business world worked. And that's when the marketing tree concept came to me. And I started talking about marketing as an ecosystem, about empowerment, and about climbing. And that one shift in language helped people see the process of marketing as not so scary, as not something that they were working against, but as in something that they were able to engage with, and that they felt empowered to actually create and allow people to climb themselves. That is innovation in action, taking something familiar and reframing it so that it makes sense to the people you serve. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes you just need to rename it, reframe it so people actually want to use it. Now, I love my world of marketing, but funnels, they were the things that reminded me of Tupperware concepts. And it's how that whole marketing tree concept that I teach today in every workshop, inside our Ideas Impact and Marketing Circle, and in the upcoming book is all about. So how do you start being seen as an innovator? The first step is to question the rules. Every industry has unspoken shoulds, the way things should be done, the way things have always been done. The innovators don't ignore them, but they do ask why. Why does it have to be this way? Why not try something different? What happens if we do this? And I do this constantly in my work as a coach and a consultant, is whether it's how we deliver programs or how we design them or run campaigns. I constantly love asking, what would happen if we flipped this or we tried this a different way? And that one question opens up the door to entirely new approaches. I do it with my clients when we coach. I'm sitting there and going, what if we tried it this way? Or why? Is there a reasoning behind this? Why often allows us to be able to open up and explore. And if it was because someone else told me to, we can look at whether that's the right fit for you or for the business. So start asking why about the rules, the things, and the way things have always been done within your industry. The second step is to share your thinking as it evolves. Too many people wait until the idea is fully polished before they start talking about it, before they take it to market. Innovators invite people into the process. They say, here's what I'm exploring right now, or I tried this and it didn't work, but here's what I learned. That openness builds trust and positions you as someone who is thinking ahead, even where things aren't perfect yet. You've only got to look at the innovators out there talking about the world of AI. How do we be prepared for it? How do we get around it? And I'm doing the same thing. I'm testing things and working it out and sharing with our Ideas Impact and Marketing Circle members. So make sure that you are looking at different ways, different things you can test, and talking about it with your peers within your industry, with your clients if you can, and moving through that area. When I first started talking about short form video strategies, I didn't have all the answers. I just noticed it was working. We tested a few things and we shared the process as we went creating short form video. I did the same when I launched the Talk podcast a long time ago. I took people behind the scenes as we repurposed video for the first few episodes, tested whether that worked, and people connected with that, and they still do, because they didn't want perfection. They wanted perspective about what bits need to go together. And that's what innovators provide. They provide a perspective that helps others see possibilities. And then the third piece in innovation is consistency. It isn't a one-off event. It's a rhythm that we actually include within our daily lives, within our business. And when people see us regularly sharing insights, new ideas, reflections, they start to associate your name with forward thinking. It doesn't have to be every day. It just has to be steady. Think of it like planting seeds. Each post, each podcast, each workshop is a seed of thought leadership that will grow over time and give authority, and it builds your authority tree. Something I've noticed in my world of innovators and in the peers that I hang out with and the people I look up to is that innovators are often learners. The people we think of as visionaries are usually just curious people that never stop learning. I remember when I was at uni, the idea of quite often becoming a perpetual student was a thing that I'd like to do. And then the world of marketing opened up to me, so I got to become a perpetual student. They read wildly, they explore new tools, they ask better questions, they surround themselves with people who challenge them, and then they allow themselves time to let their ideas develop. And that's where new ideas come from. Not from staying in our comfort zone, but constantly expanding our mental toolkit and learning new skills. A few years ago, I was working with a business owner who felt invisible within her industry. She's really good, really, really good. But everything she did looked like what everyone else was doing. We worked on bringing her unique voice, her unique perspective to market. And all of a sudden, she was not stuck in that everyone else does this box. She was actually standing out there on her own, connecting with the audience who wanted her. She started creating posts about what she believed, not just what she sold. Within months, people started calling her for interviews, for collaborations, not because she changed what she was offering in her business, but because she started thinking and speaking like a leader and talking to the people that she needed to connect with. She stopped chasing viral. She stopped fitting in. She became an innovator. She changed how people saw her and saw what she does. Now, I know it can feel intimidating to claim the label of innovation and to be a leader, but being seen as an innovator doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you have to be groundbreaking all the time. It means that you're willing to share, you're willing to experiment and lead even when you're still figuring it out. So the one action that I'd love for you to do this week as you finish listening to this talk podcast is look at an area in your business where you've been playing it safe and ask, what could innovation look like here? Maybe it's how you package something. Maybe it's how you communicate your message. Maybe it's to test one small idea and share what you've learned. In the world of course creation, in the world of marketing, innovation, moving with strategies, adapting is how we stay at top of our game. And because at the end of the day, innovation is never about being first. It's about being brave enough to think differently, speak up about it, and take action where others hesitate. If you keep doing that, before long, people start looking at you as the one that they need to get the information from, you as the one leading the way. Until next time, I'm Linda Reed-Enever, Ideas, Impact and Marketing Strategist, helping you create impact by teaching you what I do.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talk with Linda Reed-Enever. Make sure you subscribe via your favourite podcast app so you don't miss the next great episode. You can find more ideas and inspiration at innovergroup.com.au.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles Mackenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.